Arkadaşlar yeni bir videoya hoş geldiniz. Nasılsınız, iyi misiniz? Bugün Stanley oynayacağız. The Stanley, geri kalanı yok bende. Ne olduğunu bilmiyorum. Şu an Twitch'te canlı yayındayım. Twitch'te canlı yayınlara katılmak isterseniz, canlı yayınlara gelmek isterseniz Twitch linkim var. Oradan gelebilirsiniz. Beraber canlı olarak oyunlar oynayabiliriz. Evet arkadaşlar, Stanley oyuna başla diyoruz. Bakalım neymiş. Tarafa doğru bakıyorum. İkinci ekrana bakıyorum. Hani şeye bakıyorum. Daha doğrusu OBS'e bakıyorum yani. Hani yayın akışında bir sıkıntı var mı yok mu diye. Evet. Başlamayacağım mı? Başlamayacak mısın güzel kardeşim? Nasıl bir loading sürdü ya? Madem bu kadar uzun sürüyor, şunu diyeyim o zaman. Arkadaşlar lütfen. Bak, başladım, hızlandı. Lütfen videoları beğenelim. Mümkünse abone olabilirseniz çok mutlu olurum. Video altlarına yorum yazabilirsiniz. Kızmam yani. Yorum yazabilirsiniz. Emin olun, o yorumları okuyorum. Mantıklıysa geri dönüş yaparım. Yani cevap veririm. Mantıksız zaten hiç hale almıyorum.
This is the story of a man named
İşte bu
Stanley.
Stanley isimli bir adamın hikayesidir.
Stanley worked for a company in a
Stanley
big
büyük bir
building
binada bir
where
firma
he was
için
employee
işçi
number
427
427.
olarak çalışıyor.
Employee number
İşçi
427's
427 işi
job was
basit.
simple.
427
He
numaralı
sat at his
masanın
desk
başına
in
geçer
room
ve klavyedeki
427
tuşlara basardı.
and he pushed buttons on the keyboard.
Bak
Orders
bak ne
came
güzel
to him
basıyorum.
through a monitor on his
Emirler
desk,
masadaki bir
telling him
monitörden
what
gelir.
buttons to
Ona hangi
push,
tuşa
how long to
veya
push them,
tuşlara hangi
and in what
sırayla ve
order.
ne kadar süre
This is what
söyler.
employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Mutlu muydum? Ben
And then
tam bir
one
tevekkü
day
almışım
something
ya.
very peculiar happened.
Sonra bir gün oldukça
Something that
garip bir
would
şey oldu.
forever change Stanley.
Sonsuz
Something he
değiştirecek
would
bir şey.
never quite forget.
Asla unutamayacağı bir
He
şey.
had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the
Bir saat
monitor
mal
for
gibi
him
oraya
to
mı baktık?
follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Ofisten dışarı çıkmışız. Bura bizim ofisimiz mi? Sessiz oğlum. Tamam, sessiz. Tamam mı oğlum? Etkileşim tuşu ne? Çıktım abi. Etkileşim tuşu mouse'un sol tuşu. Peki. Kapalı.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Gitmiş,
What could
arkadaşları
it mean?
gitmişti. Bu ne anlama
Stanley decided to
gelebilirdi?
go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed
Yani
a
millet
memo.
mesai bittikten sonra eve gidiyordu. Biz sığır gibi çalışıyorduk. O anlama mı geliyordu acaba? Aha, açık bilgisayar.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his
Aramıyorum ki
co-workers.
vallahi. Lan niye kapattın? Açıldı mı? Oğlum aynı yere geldik. Aa, açık bilgisayar var içeride.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference. nor did it advance the story in any way.
Tamam, hikayeyi ilerleteceğiz. Dayı bakıyoruz biz de. Bak az önce bunları kapatın. Bunları kapatın. Bak yazık günah. Elektrik yakıyor bunlar. Bunların hepsi masraf. Kapılardan geçerken bir kasıyor mu oyun? Yok artık. Bana mı öyle geliyor?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Soldaki kapıdan git diyor bana. Ben belki sağdan gitmek istiyorum. Sağdan gideyim mi? Sol dedi ama. Kimse diyor ki sorayım. Soldaki kapıdan git dedi. Kıllık yapayım mı oyuna ya? Sol iyidir, sol iyidir. Solda kal. Aha kapı kapandı. Topik yok mu? Merhaba. Yok mu? Hey. Oğlum dur, PUBG oynamıyor. Niye ileri geri gidip geliyor? Girdim
Yet there
valla.
was
Aha da
not a
kapan.
single person here either.
Asim ya
Feeling a
hayda.
wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Asim ya. Patronun ofisine gidelim. Projektör de iyi para ha. Alsam mı onu kimse yokken? Kapanma işte ya. Aha açıldı, dur.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Dayı bir saniye. Sen istiyorsun ki ben patır kütür gidip... Allah Allah
There
dur.
was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Bir saniye. 1 minute. Bir dakika dur.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Dayı bir saniye. Bak.
Are
Lütfen.
you really still
Allah
in the broom
Allah.
closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please
Ya
offer me some
sana
explanation
ne?
here. I'm genuinely confused.
Ha bir sus. Bir dakika. Sus. Allah Allah. Orada niye
You do
duruyorsun?
realize there's no choice or anything
Çıkmıyorum
here,
lan.
right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
Güzel İngilizce konuşan abim. Telaffuzu güzel olan abim.
Maybe to
Bir...
you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Şu an büyük trollüyor bizi ya. Büyük kafa yapıyor bizde şu an.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he
Ah,
is.
siktir lan.
There's that or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Afgur. Boş köpek.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead.
Ya çıktım
You got
Allah
to the
aşkına.
broom
Ah.
closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway. Second player, it's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you.
Yok, ben ölmedim, hala benim. Yani bitti mi? Kafa yapmam bitti mi? He? Şerefsiz. Ne oldu? Şuraya girdik de ne oldu yani?
You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yukarı mı? Yukarı değil mi? Ah. Ah. Ah. Ne oldu? Niye konuşmuyorsun şimdi? Şerefsiz. Allahsıza bak ya. İyi ki bir girdik de süpürge odası mıymış neymiş, iyi bir bakalım dedik ya. Adam maymunun götüne soktu çıkardı bizi ya. Kapat. Kapatmayacağım. Ha, şimdi mi kapat? Merhabalar. Ben müdürle görüşeceğim da. Oturabiliyoruz mu? Aa, ne güzel.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret pin number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Söyledin ya.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Ya şuralara bir baksaydık ya. Yine dünyanın lafını söyleyeceksin ama bir saniye. Dur abi, bir şey kaçırmayayım da. Dur. Bak, çanta var. Telefon. Notlar var burada. Bak, kapı gibi geldi ora bana ya. Çok özür dilerim. Gözüm kaşındı. Evet. Kapanmayacak mı orası? Çok umurumda, evet. Nereye gittik lan? Asansör. Oha. Oraya gitmem. Aşağı inerim, oraya gitmem. Aha. Patlıyor, ortalık patlıyor. Adam dünyanın hakaretini etti bize ya. Adam dünyanın hakaretini etti bize ya. Evet, terbiyesizlik olmaz. Bu harbi terbiyesizlik ya. Af kur.
Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of
Ayrıcalıklıyım
emotion
ben
in
lan.
his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Bence de. Cevapsız kalamaz. Cevap aramamız
Stanley
lazım.
walked straight ahead through the large door that
Akıl
read
kontrol
Mind
tesisi.
Control Facility.
Biri mi var orada? Ha yok. Akıl kontrol tesisi. Bu ne? Basayım mı? Oğlum basacağım, yine hakaret edecek bana ya. Oğlum sigaranızı içip izmaritleri buraya mı? Bak burası sigara içme yeri. Basıyorum.
The
Bastım
lights rose
valla.
on an enormous room
Oh.
packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
O güç bende dayı. Bir şey oldu. Kapı açıldı. Stanley koşabiliyor musun arkadaşım? Hayır. Şimdi kamera sistemi, etkileşim yok. Burada da yok. Burada da yok. O zaman basıyorum. Bastım.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many
bütün odaları
individuals reduced to
gözlüyorlar.
images on a screen.
Ben kaç numaraydım?
And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Ben kaç numaraydım? Ben kaçtım ya. Üret yazıyordu orada. Ne anlama geliyor? Bu ne? Adamları yukarı çıkar. Ne ki bu? Bastım abi.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under
Korkunçluğu
someone's
çok
control
devasa.
all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Selamun aleyküm.
No.
Oo,
He
nereye?
refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never.
Reddetmedim,
It
inanıyorum.
was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Ay, bir şeyler konuşuyorsun ama hiç anlamıyorum ben ya.
But here was the proof. The heart of the
Nerede?
operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power
Şu
over
an karar
another
verdim.
human life.
Şu an
For he
evet.
would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Su dökerim, işerim, üstüne işerim. Hangi makineyi? Hangi makineyi? Hafız. Offline. Etkileşim yok burada. Bir şey var orada. 3 5 Açık kapı var. O kapıdan bir bakabilir miyim? Kanki. 5 Orada ne yazıyor ki? Ne yazıyor ki? Abi İngilizce bilmemenin kötü yanı. Oo, devasa monitör. Abi ne oyun oynanır bundan var ya. Selamünaleyküm. Alo.
And when at last he found the
System
source of
power.
the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Aynen. Yani 10 mu? Açayım mı? Makineyi açayım mı? Makineyi açayım mı? Dur, adam kapat dedi. Adam ne zaman bir şey dese tersini yapsak bir bokluk oluyor, bir de dünyanın fırçasını yiyoruz. Kapattım. Ne oldu? Ne oldu ki? Ne oldu ki? Ne oldu ki?
Blackness
Heh,
and a rising chill of uncertainty.
evet.
Was it over?
What's wrong? Bitmedi mi?
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments
Tamam, gideyim
away.
mi?
And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone?
Abi çözüldü,
How had he
çözüldü.
been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold?
Aa, kuşlar
But as sunlight
uçuyor.
streamed into the
İş
chamber,
arkadaşlar
he
neredeydi?
realized
Çok,
none of
çok
this
da
mattered
umurumdaydı.
to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness.
Aynen.
Perhaps his goal had not been to understand,
I want
but to let go.
happiness.
No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he
De
needed to
monitörmüş o.
know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Hadi bismillah.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen.
Nerede uyuyacağız?
And Stanley was happy.
Ne oldu? Şu an ne oldu ki? Bunu anlamadım. Ne oldu şu an? Ne oldu? Anlamadım. Bir de yaptıklarımızın tam tersini yapalım hadi.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen
Bu adam
while
bu
my
sefer bak
senses were
farklı
turned?
konuşuyor.
He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
Oyun bitmedi. Adam farklı konuştu şu an. Dikkat ettiniz mi? Bak arkadaşlarım nerede, bilmem ne yaptı filan demedi. Dur. Hiç anlamadım. Konu ne?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor
Of kurma.
did it advance the story in any way.
Af koruma.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the
Solda-
door on his left.
Sağdan gidiyorum ben abi.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly.
Allah kahretsin.
So he lounged first, just to admire it.
Korktum ya lan. Dur ya, az bir saniye dur, sakin. Emrah 25 lira yollamış. Emrah teşekkür ediyorum. Hoş geldin, sefalar getirdin. Kesene bereket. Çok thank you. Dur, ne oldu? Her yer birbirine karıştı. Lan! Emrah tekrar hoş geldin. Tekrar çok teşekkür ediyorum. Şimdi Stanley. Açamıyor musun canım? Burada ne var? Geçmiş. Karşıda ne yazıyor? 4B9. Ha, 449'muş. Hakkında konuştuk. Açılabilir. Kapanma, dur.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Yo işte içime çekmedim. Niye çekeyim? Neyini kıskanayım ki bunun? Onu anlamadım. İçecek alırım. Alamadım. Niye? Param yok.
Yes,
Evet.
really
Come
worth it
on.
being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Ay bu odanın neyini izleyeyim? Sen de abartma Allah aşkına ya. Bir kahve alırım hacı. Alamıyoruz.
At this point, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Soldaki kapı mı? Nereye gidiyor ki oraya? Ben buraya gireceğim.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Stanley diyor o kadar kötü ki bu zamana kadar işten kovulmaması yani. Sen ne demek istiyorsun bana? Delikanlı. Kapat. Kapat utanma kapat. Kapat. Allah kahretmesin. Kapat. Kartım yok. Buradan çıkabiliyor musun? Ya. Emrah 25 lira yollamış. Sen de hoş geldin demiş. Teşekkür ediyorum Emrah. Çok sağ olasın. Asıl hoş gelen sensin bu davranışlarımla yani. Çok teşekkür ederim. Çok beni utandırıyorsunuz.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten
Buna
off
ne?
on the wrong
Depo.
foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
Ben senin
I
düşmanın değilim.
realize that
Ben de
investing
senin
your
düşmanın
trust in
değilim
someone
abi.
else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me,
Evli miyim ben?
I'm asking for her.
Camdan atlar gideriz biz. Stanley. Stanley az bak. Abi sıkıştı. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
Bilerek atladım.
Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Nedir lan? Buraya git, buraya git. Ağzını yüzünü kırarım senin ya. Alo? Alo? Hani nerede?
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a
İngilizcem
person
yok,
in your place of
İngilizcem
work.
yok.
The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you and have a pleasant day.
Ablam sana da thank you ama yani dediklerinin hiçbirisini anlamadım. Emrah'tan bir 5 lira daha teşekkür ediyorum. Kardeşim eyvallah çok sağ olasın. Şimdi Stanley bilgisayarları kapatın. Bunları açık bırakmayın oğlum. Kurtulamadık bundan. Bir şey var burada dur. Oha Stanley. Evet. Evet. İbi. Başka basmıyor. Bir kere bastı.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Sağdan
This
gideceğim.
was not the correct way to the
Umurumda
meeting
olmaz
room,
sol.
and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Konuş. Bu kadar güzel konuşuyorsun ki anlatamam sana.
Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Burası mı? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Asansör mü? Düz yol mu? Adamın dediğini mi yapalım? Düz gidelim ya. Akıl verecek kimse yok mu bana şu an? Yok. Düz gidiyorum ben ya. Ya şundadır ya bunda. Helvacının kızında. Düz gidiyoruz. Aynı yere buradan zaten gitmiştik bak. Oradan gittiydik zaten abi. Nereye gidiyor? Çok karanlık, çok karanlık. Bir şey oldu bana. Bana bir şey oldu. Tenada
But
sıkıştırdılar
Stanley
beni.
didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Adam büyük kafa yapıyor bizde ya. Yemin ederim adam trollün kralı ya. Ha orada kapandı. Lan bir çayım olsa gitmeyeceğim oradan da.
Oh, no.
Aha.
No, it's to the right, my mistake. No, no, no, no, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Oğlum kafa mı yapıyorsun lan beni? Ha he.
No. This
No,
isn't
no.
right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Ne yapıyorsun? Ne yapıyorsun dayı ya? Allah aşkına ne yapıyorsun ya?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Ya bir sus
Stanley
ya.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Not mu varmış buralarda? Not mu var dedi. Kapandı ya. Dur, not var dediler. Not var dedi, not.
When Stanley... Wait, what?
Nasıl
No.
ne? Sen
No, I
diyorsun ben...
restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the
Ne
story
yaptım orada?
somewhere?
Bilgisayarları kapattım.
Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay then, it's an adventure. Come, Stanley, let's find the story.
Bulalım da. Nereden? Buradan gidemiyoruz. Buradan geldik.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I
Olmaz.
find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, and
Abi.
it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Ya yapma. Bu oyunu baştan başlatıp durma Allah aşkına ya.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, bilgisayarlarını kapat. Şimdi kapı
Okay,
yok.
it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Abi neyi gözden kaçırmış olabiliriz ki? Yok hacı, buralarda bir şey yok ya.
Aha!
Ah,
I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
buraya ilk kez geldim.
No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Senin yazacağın hikaye. Bura nere oğlum?
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story?
Ne
I
bileyim
don't
bu
think
mu?
so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct?
Abi mal ettim,
remember,
ben hiçbir şey
Stanley?
hatırlamıyorum.
Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work and it really paid off. So, good job. Oh no.
Nasıl yiyor?
I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win.
Bunu
Some
sardık mı?
people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Ya başlatma şunu yeni. O ne?
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Deli la bu adam. Takip edelim abi. Taktım bunlara ben ya. Aa, orası yeni açıldı. Dur, orası ilk kez açıldı, dur. Palaşamadık ya.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a
Vallahi sen
story?
öyle bir hikaye yapmışsın
Simply
abi.
by the
Hiçbir
act
yere
of
çıkmayan bir
moving
hikaye.
forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in
Oğlum
fact
bu ne?
the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Ver. Ay, nereye gidiyoruz ya? Allah kahretsin seni.
Wait, cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Bura mı aşk merdiveni? İletişim var mı?
Wait, what? We're back at the office?
Aynen o. Geri döndük varla.
No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell? Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Ya restart atma ya.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring,
Hadi
mysterious.
yapalım.
Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Aa, burada yeni açıldı. Hadi bak. Deneyeceğim.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Vallahi ne olsun. Dışarı çıkabilelim en azından.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Oğlum bu hatları nasıl...
Ah, a
Şükür.
choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the
Hiçbir
answer
fikrim
is
yok.
clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny
Hadi.
awaits.
Destiny. Dönmedik demeyelim, ayıptır. Bu ne?
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's
Oğlum
what this
iki kapı da
is?
buraya
It's
çıkıyormuş.
all one giant
Allahsız.
ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I
Yapma.
won't do it.
Ne?
I won't do
Yapma,
it.
yapma.
And the timer
Ne oldu?
stopped? Does that mean
Ben
we
yapmadım.
do it? Did we break the cycle? The whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen?
Bana sorma, bana sorma.
So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we?
Bilmiyorum, bana sorma.
Well, in the meantime...
O neydi? Bir şey oldu orada.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Ya
What could
abi
it
her
mean?
seferinde aynı şeyleri
Stanley
tekrarlama
decided to
ya.
go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oldu 2 tane. Hadi. Hadi bakalım.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer. Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all.
Hayır diyor, yine
I'm
olmasın.
just going to
Tamam.
be patient and
Tamam,
wait for you
tamam.
to finish whatever it is you
Tamam.
enjoy doing
Özür
so
dilerim.
much in this room. Please take your time. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's
Hayır
office.
hayır hayır diyor, yine mi? Tamam. Sakin ol. Şaka yaptı.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had a... Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let
Özür
the
dilerim.
narrator talk.
Özür dilerim.
That kind of anxiety isn't healthy. So he relaxed for a few moments with some calming new age music.
Adamın konuşması bitmeden şifreyi girdim diye yine azar yedik.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Konuşması bitmeden bunlara töre bastığımız için azar yedik adamlar. Ne oldu? Ha.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Hiç üşenmiyorsun değil mi bunları tekrar baştan almaktan, baştan anlatmaktan?
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
10 deseydik bu sefer de keşke. Az önce of demiştik.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Bitsin lütfen bitsin.
Yes. He had won.
Ya
He had defeated the machine.
Az önce de öyle söyledim.
Unshackled
Kazandım
himself
sonra.
from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever
What do you
life
do?
he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new
Hissettim.
path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Çok happy'im şu an. Bitmemiş.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
Abi bitmemiş ya. Abi yine sağlam kafa yaptı bizle ya. Bitmemiş abi.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side.
Hayır.
Give me a chance.
Nasıl kaçtım oradan?
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Stanley kırmızı kapıdan geçti.
Oh,
Geçti.
thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Göster. Ne oluyor lan? Nereye soktun bizi yine ya?
What do we want? What are we looking for?
Abi bilmiyorum ne aradığımızı. O ne? İlerleyeceğiz mi? He.
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Beautiful.
If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Hadi sen mutlu olmaya devam et.
No, wait. Where are you going?
Ne bileyim hacı nereye?
Right. Where were we?
Ha burada kaldıydık. Hacı gitme. Bak sen öyle dedin ya şimdi. Gitmem lazım. Özür dilerim.
Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Ya buna da acıyorum ya. Son kez bakmak istiyor musun?
Good, good. We can't be too safe. Promise me you won't go back there. Just stay here.
Bak sana son kez buraya bakman için getirdim. Bak. Haydi.
No. What did we talk about? You're risking everything we achieved here.
Biz bir şey
You heard
konuşmadık.
me before, didn't you? You will die. What about this isn't getting through to you?
Sen kendi kendine konuştun.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Hadi sen kal. Sen kal beni sal. Ee,
Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
oğlum kapı yok mu lan? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
No! Oh, thank God you lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to... No. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this? Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do
What?
that for me? My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You were literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Dayı bak. Onunla alakası yok. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know
Evet.
anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
Üzüldüm la adamı. Adama üzüldüm la. Kapı mı koydu oraya? Yo.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back. Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
Az önce adama üzüldüm la.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Abi maviden gideceğim.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Teşekkür ederim.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Oyunun.
Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park
Hadi
with
bakalım.
this one. Let's take a look.
Bu ben miyim? 9328. oldu. Neye göre? Neye göre, kime göre? Neyse. Değişik ve enteresan bir oyundu. Çok enteresan bir değişik bir oyundu. Ama yine de videoyu YouTube'a atacağım. YouTube'da izleyen arkadaşlar yorum yap. Oğlum 2 saniyede nasıl bitiriyorsun sen ya? Defol git ya. YouTube'dan izleyecek olan arkadaşlar yorum yapmayı lütfen unutmayın. Beğenin arkadaşlar. Beğendiğiniz zaman beğenmelerde şöyle bir şey oluyor. Siz beğendiğiniz zaman benim hoşuma gidiyor. Benim hoşuma gittiği zaman da video çekip YouTube'a atma isteği oluyor yani. Hani beğeni olduğu zaman. Yoksa videoyu çekiyorsunuz, YouTube'a atıyorsunuz mesela. Ben beğeniyorum bunu. Tamam mı? Hani ondan belli bir zaman sonra diyorsun ki ya kimse beğenmiyor zaten. Ne gereği var? Ama beğeni olduğu zaman benim de hoşuma gidiyor. Diyorum ki bak 3-5 beğeni gelmiş diyorum. Demek izleyen var diyorum. Çekiyorum devamlı. Onun için sizden rica bu arkadaşlar. Teşekkür ediyorum. Çok sağ olun. Sağlıcakla kalın. Hoşça kalın demeden önce Stanley bitti sanırım. Herhalde bitti. Çünkü sıralamaya gösterdiğine göre Stanley bitti diye tahmin ediyorum. Sağlıcakla kalın, hoşça kalın arkadaşlar. Bay bay.